What the world falls back on when currency dies. What if everything you believe about money is temporary? What if the currencies we trust, dollars, euros, yen, rupees, are just placeholders? Fragile symbols that have collapsed hundreds of times throughout history. And when they die, societies don't just lose wealth, they lose order, morality, safety, direction. Here's the mystery few ever ask. When a currency collapses, when it truly becomes worthless, what does the world fall back on? Gold, food, weapons, foreign money, social trust, or something deeper and far more unexpected? Today, we're dissecting the hidden playbook of monetary collapse used in Rome, in Weimar Germany, in Zimbabwe, in Yugoslavia, and in every empire that thought its currency could never fail. And by the end of this video, you'll understand not just what collapses, but what survives. Money has always been a promise, not a thing, but a belief. And every financial system, whether gold-backed, fiat, digital, or credit-based, depends on one fragile ingredient: collective confidence. When confidence cracks, the currency cracks. When the currency cracks, the civilization cracks. But before we talk about collapse, we need to understand something surprising. Civilizations rarely fall directly into chaos. Instead, they fall back onto secondary money, the backup systems beneath the official system. These backups are always there, silent, invisible, ignored until the day they become the only thing that works. To see this pattern clearly, we need to go back, way back, to the first great currency that died. Origins: ancient Rome's hidden monetary trap. Rome didn't collapse overnight, slowly drowned in its own money. The Roman denarius was once a stable silver coin, trusted across continents. But emperors facing wars, debts, and political survival began shaving silver, diluting it, hollowing it out. A pure currency became an illusion. Prices rose, incomes didn't. Soldiers rebelled. Trade broke down. When Roman citizens realized the coins in their hands were no longer what they seemed, the first major fallback money appeared: barter, gold, grain, and foreign coins. In border regions, Roman money was quietly replaced by Persian silver, Egyptian grain credits, and local gold pieces. The empire still had an official currency, but society had already switched to survival mode. Rome's collapse wasn't the destruction of a country, it was the destruction of belief. The world's first hyperinflation supernova, Weimar Germany. After World War I, Germany faced impossible reparations. Politicians had one tool left: print money. At first it seemed harmless. Lower interest rates, more spending, boost the economy. Then prices doubled, then doubled again, then doubled every week. And finally, prices doubled every few hours. Berlin workers were paid at noon, ran to the shops, and watched prices rise while they were standing in line. Paper money became so worthless that children played with bricks of banknotes. Families burned cash for heat because firewood was more expensive than money. And here's the critical moment. What did Germany fall back on when the currency died? 3 unexpected things: foreign currencies. US dollars and British pounds became the only stable units. Barter networks: farmers only traded food for real work, carpentry, tools, material goods, as money. Shoes, coal, soap, and cigarettes became units of value. The Weimar collapse shows a stunning truth. When money dies, the economy doesn't stop. It just switches to whatever people trust more than the government. When trust disappears completely, Yugoslavia. 1993, Yugoslavia holds the record for the fastest hyperinflation in human history. Prices doubled every 34 hours. A loaf of bread cost 1 billion dinars. People carried money in plastic bags because wallets were too small. But what society fell back on is the real story. People abandoned the dinar entirely. The German mark became the real currency, but practically, salaries were paid in marks, rents were priced in marks, cars were sold in marks. Even black market bribes were calculated in marks. Yugoslavia didn't revert to gold or barter. It reverted to the currency of a more trusted country. When your own nation fails, people grab onto someone else's stability. Fallout: Zimbabwe and Venezuela. Zimbabwe's currency collapsed so severely that the government printed a $100 trillion note. Venezuela repeated the story in 2018. People earned salaries not worth enough for a bus ride home. But the fascinating part, both countries fell back on the same survival tools. 1. US dollars, not because America is perfect, but because people trusted it more than their own government. 2. Mobile money in Zimbabwe, eco-cash apps, became digital cash when paper cash disappeared. 3. Precious metals and small commodities, gold dust, silver scraps, cooking oil, flour, gasoline. When a government loses financial credibility, society switches instantly to whatever retains value, even if it's not official money. Failed fixes the government's final moves. Every collapsing currency triggers the same desperate government reactions. Price controls make shortages worse. Printing more money accelerates collapse. Demonetizing old notes destroys savings overnight. Creating a new currency works only if public trust is restored. History shows that no technical solution, new banknotes, redesigns, rules ever fixes a currency collapse unless one thing returns: trust. Without trust, no currency can live. With trust, even primitive systems can thrive. Modern parallels, the pattern is repeating today now. Let's connect history to the present. Today, the world holds $313 trillion in global debt, record inflation in 70 countries, weakening currencies across Africa, South Asia, Latin America, Eastern Europe. Trust in banks at a 15-year low, 40% of Americans saying they couldn't handle a $400 emergency. Some nations, Argentina, Lebanon, Turkey, are already showing signs of pre-collapse behavior. Rapid depreciation, price spikes, dollarization, capital controls, cash shortages, wealth fleeing the country. And here's the most surprising modern twist. People aren't falling back on gold or barter first. They're falling back on technology, crypto, mobile money, peer-to-peer transfers, stablecoins. In Nigeria and Turkey, stablecoins are now a survival tool. In Lebanon, the dollar replaced the local currency. In Argentina, people price used cars in US dollars, not pesos. The pattern is identical to ancient Rome and Weimar Germany, just digital this time. History doesn't repeat word for word, but the rhythm.
Oh.
The rhythm is unmistakable. The 3 takeaways. 1. Currencies die when trust dies. Not when paper runs out, not when inflation rises, not when debt grows, but when people lose confidence. 2. Societies fall back on whatever stores value better than the official currency. Gold, dollars, food, crypto, cigarettes, gasoline, the form changes, the principle is eternal. Asterisk, asterisk 3. Collapse is never the real danger. The real danger is the transition period, when the old system dies and the new one isn't trusted yet. Asterisk, asterisk. That's when societies face chaos, shortages, crime, and political upheaval. Final warning. Every nation believes its currency is too strong to fail. Every empire believes it is the exception. But history whispers another story. No currency in human history has been permanent. Only the fallback systems survive. The real question isn't, will our currencies collapse? But what will we fall back on when they do? If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit like, subscribe to Wealth Wisdom Historian, and turn on notifications. This channel explores how money, history, and power collide so you can navigate the world the way empires do. Stay curious, stay prepared. And remember, money is temporary, understanding is permanent.